Today's video primarily is for the new viewers, those of you who have not watched me grow since 2006. It kind of fills you in on a lot of information and assumptions we use when making these videos. I hope you enjoy it.
Years since I've done any real public speaking, I am basically a geek. Okay? I'm the guy you lock in the server room.
Good morning. It's July 24th, 2011. It's a Sunday. Welcome. I guess by now I should at least say something about the events that occurred this weekend in Norway. But the only thing that I really want to say about that is my condolences to the families of the victims who died in that tragic incident and attack. Of course, the media is doing its best to downplay the fact that the perpetrator was a member of what can be loosely called the Christian right. He left enough information about it in a 1,500-page document. I find that funny simply because in everything I've ever written that has ever been published, I managed only to come up with 300 pages critiquing what's going on with my adversary, the corporate right, and this guy pops up. Predicted and predictable. You know, not much more I can say about that other than, as I said, my condolences to the families. You know, I got into a discussion with a friend of mine on Facebook a few days ago. Whenever it was I posted the last video, about having a more positive spin on events occurring in the world and on events that are happening here in the United States. Now, first of all, for the sake of the race mixer, one of the problems I have with the debt clock, if you will, is that I'm not even sure how to express this other than say that's pretty artificial. The debt problem is strictly man-made, although most of our problems are. You know. And as such, whatever it took to create him can be fixed. We did it ourselves, you know. Especially since money is no longer made by the printing of currency backed by a government agency or the government. It's made by the interest compounded on the loans put out there. So, and even that's, you know, very loose, what do you want to call it, translation, or a very loose description. Sorry about that. I'm doing this completely unscripted off the top of my head. A very loose description of how we generate money in the West. There's really nothing backing it other than the loans out there. It's the interest on the loans that generate more wealth. And that's why everybody out there is so concerned about the debt. So, and if you don't think so, go look it up. It's all over YouTube, guys. It's all over YouTube. Anyway, the one thing I have to tell you, most of you have not been following me since 2006. So I automatically jump to where we're at right now versus what we're looking at in the future. I thought I'd take a moment today to tell you where I think we are going. First of all, this is not doom and gloom. It never has been. I do get a little hard-pressed to deal with what I consider human stupidity, which is going on around the world. We will fix this mess. Now, let me put it to you the way I wrote it up in about 2003 or so. You're sitting here watching me. As such, your distant ancestors survived the Black Death. They survived World War I. They survived World War II. They survived any number of catastrophes that we can go back in history and look at. As such, mathematical probability for, if nothing else, we will survive this mess we're in right now. This is not the end of the world. There's also a idea floating around that these kids don't know diddly about anything. I got news for you. A lot of them are sheeple. You know, I hate to use that term, but it works right now. A lot of them are sheeple. But then again, a lot of the adults my age are also sheeple. And they go along with it, and they don't want anybody telling them anything different than what they already know. Because they want to keep their little lives confined in a nice little box and follow the rules as they understand them and go about their life as best they can until that life comes to an end. And it will. That's the fate of all humanity. That's the fate of all biological organisms, by the way. But I have personally met, quite a few young men and women who are very much in tune with what's going on. Now, they are not exactly in a position of power yet to address what's happening, but they don't like what has risen over the last 30 years. They don't like what they've seen over the last 20 years. As such, odds on favorite, they will change the system. That gets us to a little bit of a discussion on Obama's hope and change. I think we misread what he was offering us back in 2008. I guess we're supposed to have hope that the existing capitalist system run by the capitalists and the corporate entities will somehow become benevolent for the people of the nation. And what change he was talking about is... Now that's where I have yet to figure it out. What change Obama was talking about, I do not know. But I do know this. That as bad as things look right now, we will survive. We will survive. I've gone on a little bit longer than I usually intended to. I will talk to you later. As always, on this Sunday, may your God go with you. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye for now.
I say we change those rules, if they're rules at all. I say we start anew.